In this video, we are going to learn about Java identifiers. What is an identifier in Java programming? An identifier is a name to identify something in the Java programming. It is simply just a name to identify something. We can able to consider our real world scenario that if we want to recognize a person, we use his or her name, right? In that way we can able to identify the person by using a name. Similar in Java programming as well, to identify something in the program, we are using this concept called identifier. So we will see that by developing a simple program, click on file, highlight new, select Java. The name of the class I'm going to give is J, and come to the main method, remove this system.out.println statement. Here I'm giving int I is equal to 0. Int I is equal to 0. Save this file, click on file, click on save as. File this save with the same name as the class name, that is J, capital J. In this simple program as well, we can able to find the identifiers. What are all the identifiers are present in this simple program? The class name itself is the identifier. The class name itself is an identifier. We are identifying by using this name called J. This is the class name. And main, we can able to identify this method by using the name called main. Okay, this is the method name. Main is the method name. And what about this string? It is a class. String is the class. All the inbuilt classes and interface names, all the inbuilt class and interface names, we can able to use it as an identifier. So we can consider this as an identifier, right? It is one of the inbuilt class. String is a class. We can able to develop an identifier name by using an inbuilt class name or inbuilt interface name, but that is not recommended. Okay, but that is not recommended. Why? Because it is going to reduce the readability of the code, that you will see in a moment. Now in this case it is fine. Why? Because we are we are passing this string array, right? And what is this args? That is the variable name. That is the variable name, args. It is also an identifier. Okay, it is the variable name. And here come to the main method body. Int is the data type. Okay, it is not an identifier, it is a data type. I is the identifier. We can able to identify this variable by using this name called I. So we are considering it as an identifier. In this simple program as well, we can able to find how many identifier. J is one identifier, main is one identifier, string is one, and args is one, I is one. Totally five identifiers we can able to find in this simple Java programming. To identify something, okay, to identify something in the Java programming, we are using this identifier, and we can able to, we in the sense users or programmers can able to generate or create their own identifier names, but with the restrictions. What are those restrictions or rules to be followed while you are creating an identifier name in Java programming? The first rule, it is, um, let me just start this class name with the digit 2j, right? Click on file, save as. You might need to delete the previously generated file, that is j in my case. So here I have 2j, right? Same name as the class name. With the same as the class name, I'm saving this file. Save and come to the command prompt, trigger the java c command. Java c space -d space double dot forward slash classes space the name of the Java file, that is 2j, right? 2j.java. If you trigger this command, you will be getting error. Just press enter, and we are getting totally two errors. Why? Because we cannot able to start an identifier name with the digit. We cannot able to start an identifier name starting with a digit. Come back to our program. As you can see here, 2j, it is not correct. It is not syntactically correct. Let me delete that 2. So if you are giving simply j, it is perfectly fine. Okay, that is, you can able to use the lowercase a to z characters, and you can able to use uppercase a to z characters. It is perfectly fine, but you cannot able to start an identifier name with the digit, but you can able to include the digits in between the characters, or at the end of the alphabetical characters, or at the end of the identifier name. Okay, you cannot able to start an identifier name with a digit, but you can able to include that digit in between the identifiers or at the end of the identifier. Here I'll say just j0. Let me just save it, save as j0. And you need to be very cautious, like here I have entered capital O instead of 0, right? So here we need to be cautious, because capital O and 0 are very similar here. j0, save and come back to the command prompt, trigger the java c command with the Java file name, that is j0.java. It is perfectly fine. Okay, come back to our program. Let's say j0 j0. Click on file, save as J0, 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 J0. Save, come back to the command prompt, modify this command to J0, J0. Press enter. It is also perfectly fine, and we know the reason that we can able to use this digit in between the identifier name or at the end of the identifier name. That is perfectly valid. But what we cannot able to do is we cannot able to start this identifier name with a digit like this. This is not possible. It is wrong. Now, what about the special characters? Mm, okay, let me give like star, J star, right? J star, J star. Let me just give it in the beginning itself like this, J star J. Okay, click on file, save as star J. Mm, right. Here itself you can able to find this problem that we cannot able to basically save this, right? Like beginning with the star and J. You cannot able to basically save this itself. Let me come to the conclusion here. Um, Here we have used star. Okay, that is one of the special character or special symbols in case of Java programming to generate or to create an identifier name. The only allowed special characters, the only allowed special characters in identifier name, that is dollar, dollar sign and underscore, dollar sign and underscore. Basically we can able to use these two special character or symbols to create our identifier names. Other than these two special characters, we cannot able to use any other special characters. So either you'll be getting error, or in our case it cannot able to save as well, right? In the beginning itself, you'll be facing problems. The only allowed special symbols or special characters, that is dollar sign and underscore. Let me give the dollar sign, dollar J. It is perfectly fine. Click on file, save as dollar J. Save, come to the command prompt and clear the screen, CLS. Modify this command to dollar $J, and you can able to see that it is perfectly fine. We are getting this next prompt in this command window. That means successfully this $J.java class has been generated inside the classes folder. If you open this classes folder, here you can find that $J here, $J dot class. That means we can able to use this dollar sign while we are creating our identifier. Okay, and what about this underscore? It is also perfectly fine. Click on File, Save As, _J, save. Come to the command prompt, trigger javac command and modify this command to _J. It is also perfectly valid, and you can able to see the result that _J has been successfully generated. The class _J dot class successfully has been generated inside this classes folder. So basically we can able to use these two special characters only, that is dollar and underscore. Let me give exclamatory J. Is that possible? Click on File, Save As, exclamatory J. Exclamatory J. Come to the command prompt, modify this to exclamation J. Exclamation J dot Java. Press enter. Here you can find that totally two errors. That means we cannot able to start this identifier name with the special character other than dollar or underscore. Anything other than dollar and underscore, it is not at all valid in case of creating identifier names. Let me keep it like this. And this applies to this variable as well, right? Whatever we have given here as well. Okay, whatever the things we have discussed here for the class name, that applies to this variable name as well. Now, can we able to use the inbuilt class names as the identifier names? Is that possible? Let me check it out. That is, let's say, double string. Observe carefully. Double string is equal to 20.0. I'm closing it with a semicolon. Observe, double is the data type, string is the inbuilt class name. String is the inbuilt class name. I'm using it as a variable name like this. Like I am using string as the variable name, and the variable name comes under the identifier name. And as I said, all the inbuilt class names and interface names, we can able to use it as the identifier name. In fact, we are using it for the variable name. Is it possible or not? Check it out in the command prompt. Clear the screen. And what is the name of the class? That is simply J. Okay. Here, please observe that whatever the file, whatever the changes I have made, that is to exclamation J dot Java. So, you don't need to confuse with that. Please save this file with the class name, that is uppercase J. Click on File, Save As, and you need to save that with the name J, simply J. Save. Come to the command prompt. And trigger the javac command by using just J. What is the result we are getting? We can able to get this next prompt in the command window. That means it is perfectly fine, right? We are using this class name as the variable name. So if you're wondering that can we able to print this value, let me just print that value using system dot out dot println string, and with a semicolon, come to the command prompt, trigger the Java C command, and run this program. -cp. Where is -cp? Okay, let me just Java space -cp space double dot forward slash classes J. Simply J. Press enter, and here you can able to find this output as 20.0. Right, even though it is the inbuilt class, we can able to use it as the identifier name, or we can able to use it as the variable name. And what about the interface? So boolean runnable is an interface name. So for this, I'm going to supply true. Let me just print it, system.out.println. So runnable, save this, come back to the command prompt, and try to compile it once again. As you know that for whatever the changes you have made to a Java program, you need to compile it before running. Compile, and successfully dot class has been generated inside the classes folder. Now trigger the Java command. Where is -cp? Yes, here, as you can able to see here, 20.0 and true we are getting. That means we can able to use the inbuilt class name, and we can able to use the inbuilt interface name as the identifier names. You know, it is not a problem, but it is not recommended at all. That is the main thing. It is not recommended at all. Why? Because it is going to reduce the readability of the code. You know, like in the further of the program, like we might be using this string to other purposes, right? Mm, we might use this inbuilt class names or interface names for other purposes. I know we might get confusion. It is not recommended at all to use this inbuilt class name and as well as the interface names as the identifier names. Right, so this is it for this video, guys. I hope you have learned something, and I'll see you in the next video. Thank you.